Yo, what's up, guys? My name is Ward, also called by W, and with me, I have a partner with me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nick, also online called as Nicat. I'll be joining the PPL as an admin this time around, not as a coach, but I'm glad I could be here.
Thanks, Nick. Uh, it's a new season, PPL, Pro League, Season 4, a VGC draft, which means all players will play a battle of three for, uh, 10 weeks straight, and then we have a top four, and the top four will battle each other until we have an ultimate champion. The goal for today is a power rankings, which means we gonna give our opinion on all the teams one by one and put them into a tier list afterwards, so we can decide which teams are kind of stronger than the other.
Yeah, indeed. We have a lot of strong teams at the moment. But nothing about this tier list is like to offend anyone. It's just how we see the teams, what we think is good, how we see the team. We know the coaches have their own, they drafted the team, of course. They have their strategies in mind. So maybe some people will surprise us later on, or maybe some people will disappoint us. Who knows?
Yes, of course. Okay, I think we're gonna start and look at
Yeah,
the teams now. Uh,
sounds a good plan.
okay, here we are. We have 11 teams in total, with the first team being the Goldenrod City Gengars, with a coach Gravedigger 33. Then we got the Belgian Oricorios, with Aro Woolen as coach and co-coach Spooks. The Malicious Mismagius, with coach Smoggy and co-coach Petino. The Seismitoad Juggernauts, with coach W. And the Crobats Lair, with Alolan Ninetales as coach and co-coach Andre 0457.
Yeah, and for other teams, we have the Soul Stealing 7-star Squawkabillies with coach Mary Berry and Ivar. Then we have the Flashy Fletchinders with Jedemu. Next on the list are the Dutch Drilburs with Fantastis as and Jens 2365 as coaches. Next, we have the Flanders Flygons with Mido Midori and Ronansting. Almost last is Llanfair, the Llanfair Gogoats with Anuller and Murph. But last but not least, we have the Mesagoza Meowscaradas with Arceus Rules and Ak, aka Akram Hamdi.
Okay, alright. Now, we're gonna look into the teams in more detail. So, we're going to the next slide. Alright, guys. First team we're going to go look into is the Goldenrod City Gengars with coach Gravedigger. He drafted the Pokemon Ursaluna, Palafin, Murkrow, Iron Thorns, Scovillain, Gramble, Arcanine, Cresselia, Annihilate, and Fungus. Nickets, what are your first thoughts about this team?
Well, first of all, when I was looking at this team, I was like a bit like I didn't see it directly at first glance what was going on, but now the more I looked into it, it seems like a really solid team to me. Like Grave has drafted like a lot of different options in there, like with Cresselia and Annihilate. I mean, with Cresselia and Ursaluna, it's like a really solid Trick Room core right there. He has like the well-known Pala Balance core a bit with his Palafin and Arcanine and Baby Amoongus with Fungus. So yeah, that's a really strong core. He can go also the route on Tailwind with priority, with Murkrow being drafted. Like Grave has put together a well-rounded team, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. And also Marco gets things like Sunny Day and Quash makes. With Sunny Day, you can boost Scovillain his
Right.
firepower and also Arcanine's firepower. And you have also Quash, which means you can, even without Trick Room, Ursaluna can put a lot of work if Murkrow quashes. And the same goes
Yeah,
for Palafin with Wave Crash. It's such a strong core.
yeah, indeed. Like it's like it can go many rounds. I think Gengars the Golden City Gengars will be like a team that people need to be careful of what to draft against, and they probably have trouble like deciding what their team is going to be against them because, like I said, the Gengars really have a lot of options
Hmm.
in their team. They can go either way. Like they can go for Tailwind. They can indeed go for Sunny Day, which I was blanking a bit on with Murkrow, but it's indeed an option.
Hmm.
Iron Thorns, even though it's not regularly seen in the normal VGC scene, like it's still like a Rockmon that can spam Rock Slides and has electric coverage, which is always nice to have. Intimidate with Grand Bull, and Arcanine can stack up if he wants to. Annihilate, always a threat. Like you need to be careful around it to just kill it as soon or KO it as soon as possible. Because yeah, if you let it get too many hits, that Rage Fist is really going to hurt.
Yes, of course.
The other thing we can see is that if we look in our internal document at the average stats, like he has a whopping 110 average attack. Like that is a lot. That is a lot of power on his team.
Hmm.
Like that, people really need to be careful for those calculations. Like you have like a lot of things that can go into your way, like extreme speed or jet point for Palafin. Like yeah.
Yes,
Overall, I'm really like this is like a really solid team in my opinion.
yeah, I agree with that. And a lot of priority. It's a solid team, I would say.
Yeah, indeed. So
Okay.
where do we place it in the power in our tier list ranking? Personally, I would say like I can agree to put it at A because it's in my opinion an A plus team. But it's not like how I must say like impossible to draft against. This is like a really solid core. But if you say like you want to put it in S, I can see it at that as well.
Mm. I think S is a bit too high for it. I see it more like a C. It's a solid team with a lot of options, but not the
Well, the
most.
only thing that I see against this team is like it's like he has a lot of Pokemons that people know the strategies of, like Cresselia or Saluna is well known, Palafin, Fungus, Arcanine is like really well known, Murkrow shenanigans is well known, Annihilate shenanigans is well
Hmm.
known. So I think his predictability of what the mons could bring is still like very clear. Like you maybe not know what team he's going to bring, but when you see the team, you know, okay, it's that, and you can easily get it, that mindset of okay, that's how I want to deal with it, etc. But yeah, still, in my opinion, like C is a little bit low for me.
Okay.
Because CT or something is more like when I see like it's just below average, and I see this team more above average.
Yeah.
Like it's like a really good team. Like as you said, S is maybe a bit too much, but like A are like the good teams in my opinion,
Yeah.
and the Gengars
Maybe
really fit
maybe
at
A
A tier.
is maybe A is a good placement for Goldenrod City Gengars
Okay, then we can
because
place
he
it at
has
A.
a lot of options.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, like I said, like like I don't know that much about what Gramble can do. Of course, it's a fairy type. Step fairy is always very handy, and intimidate spam is also a thing. So yeah, I think A is a good place for this team.
all right, good. We're going to the next team.
Up next, we have the Belgian Oricorios with Arluin and Spooks as the coaches. They drafted the team of Walking Wake, Como, Quickwavell, Klefki, Lilligant, Executor, Torkoal, Volcarona, Oricorio, and Raichu Alolan form. So, Wacht, what are your thoughts about this team?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious which they are going for. It's a sun-based team. They have Walking Wake, which is a very strong Pokemon for with its Hydra. What's his move again? Hydro Steam? Nee.
Yeah, yeah,
Hydro,
I think it's Hydro Stream. Yeah.
Hydro Steam, which is more powerful in the sun. Uh, even though it's a water type move. You have a Torkoal to set up Sun. You have Executor to take advantage of the Sun. Volcarona can Rage Powder, but can also advantage of the Sun. Oricorio the same. You have Lilligant with the strategy with Torkoal. After you, Eruption, which could be very powerful, and you have to look for yeah, you have to watch out for it. And also Alone on Raichu. I think Klefki gets electric terrain, if I'm correct. I have to look into it.
Yeah. I'm also looking. I think it has. No, it doesn't learn electric terrain.
It does.
It learns misty terrain. It learns
misty terrain. Okay.
Yeah. If I can give my opinion on it, it's like you said, it's really obvious that that this team drafted like a Sun team. Obviously, you have like the Walking Wake there, as you said. Also, an aspect that I see is with Oricorio, Volcarona, and Quaquavel. Like, I know that Oricorio copies all the dance moves, so if you go Quiver Dance, you can do Quiver, like, and Oricorio's next to you, like, you can Quiver Dance. Same for Sword Dance, and all the dance moves that exist. So, and also with Lilligant, like with Either Dance. So, that is also an option they could bring. It's really annoying to face against that, but still, overall, I think that I don't think that the team is weak or anything, because at their average they have the highest special attack in our teams, which is 104. So they still hit pretty hard on that side. But I don't know how well the team will do if they can get the sum up, for example. I know they have like Komodo, but I think like Komodo is a bit the odd ones out in this team.
I think so too.
Not because like it's a really bad mon or anything. Like its stats are like really good. It has this dragon fighting typing, and with Terra it can go into steel. But how I see Como mostly used is like, yeah, you want to use that iron defense and set up for body press with an iron head coverage. You still gonna go like with normal moves without iron defense setup. But still, I think that currently is the best set. I hope they can surprise me with it. That they will bring something that Como can really shine through. But yeah, so far I'm not really convinced how it fits into this team at the moment.
Yeah, of course. If the opponent preps well and can set rain dance and such, I think they have a difficult time to make this team work. But I think it's possible for them. You have also Klefki with Sunny Day, which can set up the sun.
Yeah.
But I also see Como a bit of an odd one out in the team they are using. It doesn't really fit that well, but yeah. We will see what they come up with.
Yeah. It's just because if I look at our tiering system, and then how team, there's still like really solid options that maybe could have gone better. Like I said at the beginning of this video, like I don't know what their strategies is or are for their team. But yeah, I just think that Como and their Alone Raichu are a bit odd. But like I said, I hope they can surprise me with what they are going to do with it. But yeah, currently I'm not fully convinced, because indeed, like you said, like we have a lot of strong battlers in this in the PPL currently. So yeah, it's obvious that they want to bring Sun, right? Like if they can circumvent that expectation that they don't bring Sun, or like fake out people that they are going to bring Sun or not. Like then it could work, but yeah, at the moment I'm like they're hitting the one note of a Sun team, which can work, of course, but still, yeah, it has some clear weaknesses in my opinion.
I think so too.
Yeah. So, what tier do you want to give it?
I think the the I think D tier. It's a great team, but it has a lot of weaknesses, and you can prep for it. I think the D tier. It's a little gimmicky with a lot of stuff, but you have to
Yeah,
make it
but
work.
yeah, I was going for B or C in my opinion,
Yeah.
because I think because B is like my average, so it has which I want to play teams that has clear good stuff, like they have clear strengths and clear weaknesses. Like it's a 50, like, it's not like a 50-50 call or anything, but they have like you see clearly what works and what is going to be problem for them.
Yes.
But still, I still think the team can do very well. Um, it's not like it's not S tier because yeah, it's nothing like oh you can't do anything against it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I see B as like this is like in my opinion a good baseline team. Like it has some gimmicks, it has some weaknesses, but yeah, I can still see it doing well. But yeah, that wholly depends on how other people are going to prep against it, how they are going to play with the team as well. So yeah, that's why I wanted to put it at B. But yeah, if
Yeah.
we can agree, because you put D and I put B, that we put it in C is
Yeah.
also fine with me.
I think that's fair. C tier would be a good placement for this team.
Yeah,
Um,
C tier, I can agree upon that.
okay.
Okay, then we go
Right.
to the other teams.
Yes. Right. Next team is Malicious Mismagius with coaches Smoggy and Patino. They drafted Ogrepon Heartflame, Iron Jugglers, Clefairy, Bronzong, Earthworm, Cryogonal, Rotomwash, Garchomp, Zoro Kisui, and Hitmonchan. What are your first thoughts?
Well, they drafted Ogrepon, Heartflame, which is always like a problem.
Yeah.
It terrestrializes, it gets +1, so that's something always you need to be careful of. And even then, like it can run defensive as like a bit defensive as well if you go follow me or not. So its redirection is also good. The Iron Jugglers is like a surprising pick for me because it's not something that I would have guessed going like out because people tend to underestimate it, but it still has its weight. It has a good speed tier where it sits at 108 with Tailwind as well, like that can set up. It has Snarl, so there's possibility there. Clefairy to make your mons a little bit more bulky. And yeah, then you have like the heavy hitters like the Garchomp that is there. Artworm, if you really want to be surprising there with body press setup.
Hmm.
And then yeah, Rotom can be annoying as well with Will-O-Wisp or Thunderwave there. And Garchomp also, even though it's not seen that much right now, it's still a good Pokemon.
Yeah. Like, you have so many. You have very good synergy with Garchomp because Rotom Wash have Levitate, Cryogonal has Levitate, Bronzong has Levitate, Earthworm is also immune because of Earth Eater, yes.
Yeah.
Iron Jugglers is immune. So Garchomp is free to Earthquake anything, and
Oh yeah.
also the combo with Clefairy makes it not that weak against Dazzling Gleam anymore because of the friend guards. Uh,
True.
you have to be very careful about Garchomp, and even if it terrestrializes you, it's very difficult to knock this thing out.
Yeah, true. It's the team has drafted for a lot of survivability, I could say, and even like the Suyan Zoroark, like that thing is just like to mess with your opponents. Like
Yeah.
it can with its ability, like it can change to anything for your team. So every time your opponent has to keep thinking, like, okay, if they bring a Suyan Zoroark, what are they going to change into? What are they going to do as well? So yeah, the team. The only thing that I can really criticize about this team. is I don't really see the big picture. Like in the previous two teams, we could clearly see like, okay, the Gengars really drafted just a balanced team with different options you can go into. You have Trick Room, you have the balance option. For the Oricorios, we clearly had like the Sun Team element there and the gimmicky element. And for this team, I don't really know what their like whole overall plan is. Like I don't really I can see the Trick Room option with Bronzong there, but I don't really see, okay, who's gonna be the main sweeper under that Trick Room for
There's no one.
Tail.
Yeah, there's no one to take advantage of that Trick Room.
Yeah, not really, in my opinion. Like they're like, you could say Ortworm, but still, if that is your main sweeper, I think there are maybe other options that could have filled in that slot. Then yeah, and I think mainly what I see in this team is a Tailwind team with Iron Jugglers, and then you want to sweep with your Ogre Pawn, with your Garchomp, or anything, and even Hisuian Zoroark, because don't forget, like, Hisuian Zoroark is a really fast Pokemon and has a lot of special attack.
Mm-hmm. It's just a
and
team.
Good typing.
It's just a team with raw power, and I think with good support. And I think they drafted Bronzong because to deny Trick Room or something. Allee, you could easily mess around with your opponent with Zoroark, Hisui, and Rotom Wash, Will-O-Wisp. Be a very annoying. To knock out those raw power Pokemon.
Yeah, I think a lot. I think a lot of this team is going to depend on how the coaches are going to play this team. Like with the gang, of course, that's the case for every team, of course, because you can draft the greatest team ever, and still, if you can't play well as a coach, like, you're not going to do well.
That's true.
So I think that for this team, it's like, this is like more the crucial part. Like, depending on how they are going to play. And how they are feeling when they are playing, that is gonna like decide if they win or lose. Like with the others, you have more clear win conditions. Well, here it more depends like what they are going to draft as a team, and yeah, how they are going to play against the others as well. Yes. I still say they have options. Like I said, Ogre-Palm Heartflame is still a threat. Garchomp as well, Suin Zoroark is nothing. It's to be careful of, and even like Earthworm can be like crucial at certain times. So yeah, personally, I don't know where to play this team. I want to say B because, like I said, it's like I don't want to say mixed bag because that sounds so negative. But yeah, I think like B is solid for my thing because they have options there. But yeah, I don't know also how strong the team itself is. Maybe C is also a good place there.
I think C is too low. I was thinking A because it's a strong team, good support, and you have to be careful for it. But it depends on the coach. It's really depends on the coach.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I can agree with A. But if I just think about, okay, the Gengars are already there. I don't see this on the same level as the Gengars, in my opinion. Yeah. I see this more at the level of at the Oricorios level at the moment, or maybe just a bit above. So it could be like a C plus B tier, in my opinion. But if you're gonna say A, then we have to find a middle ground there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really depends on how the coaches are going to play this, in my opinion. But I can agree with like a low A, like A minus, B plus.
Yeah.
Tiering. So where you want to place this, I will agree on that.
I think A is solid.
Okay. Then we put it in A.
All right. On to the next team. And
our fourth team right now are the Seismitoad Juggernauts with W in our in our midst. So this is a really unique opportunity to get the insight on the team. Hopefully, don't spoil too much. We don't want to give other people advantages. But he drafted Archeludon, Grimmsnarl, Sinistcha, Illumise, Electros, Squawkabilly, Arcanine Hisui, Floatzel, Ditto, and Keldeo. So, wacht, tell me, what was your D for this draft?
Yeah, my first Pokemon drafted was Archeludon, but I don't want it to be a rain focused team with Pelipper, so I went in different routes with Illumise, who can put Rain Dance on the field, which is very good. So we have the option for rain, but it's not needed to
Yeah.
to make the team work. You have different options like Arcanine Hisui, Sinistcha to redirect something. Sinistcha can also damage lots of opponents with its 121 special attack, which is very good. Ditto can copy other opponents' Pokemon, which are very good. You have other rain options like Floatzel, which is very strong with Wave Crash, even stronger than Barraskewda's his Liquidation. Is a bit slower, but still very powerful. And Keldeo. Keldeo is also Pokemon you have to be careful for, because it can, even though it has very good special attack, it has a move Secret Power, who can break through the physical defense of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but now I understand the team a little bit better because the first thing that I saw when I saw this team was like, why haven't you drafted Pelipper? Because like you have all the elements of a rain team, but indeed like you said right now that you don't want to have that clear rain team option in there. I want to prefer like more of a soft rain team with Illumise. So yeah, I can get that. So that's indeed the thing. Now, still, I think that Pelipper was like a great option here.
True.
Because you have the flying. Okay, you have water, but it also has like options like Wide Guard. It has Hurricane, which does a lot of damage. And the thing is with Illumise, okay, you can go for Tailwind and Rain Dance as well, but the advantage of the Pelipper is when it comes in, it has already Rain up, while for Illumise, you still need to waste a turn there.
Yeah.
So I think that is hurting this team quite a bit. Still, there are some really good options in there. Like you have the Grimmsnarl, you have the Sinistcha, Illumise as well. Ditto, great, all great support options, and Ditto can it's always annoying to prep against because you really need to watch out. Like, okay, which Pokemon am I going to bring in, knowing that a Ditto could be there. So, and even like Pokemons like a Keldeo can stand against on their own in like without the rain being up. I just don't know how well it's going to do in the doubles formats. That's something I don't have any experience with. So let's see about that. So yeah, I still think that there are like really good options there, but I'm not like I must say, like, I'm not like 100% convinced that like how the way you drafted that is like going to work. In my opinion, like you had the idea, so once again, you know it better than me. But yeah, I don't think that there's literally a lot of offensive power in there to really deal with it unless you bring rain, in my opinion, because Grimmsnarl is always been more of a support mon because you have the Prankster for screen setup. Sinistcha as well, like it can hit like decently, but still it's more support mon. Arcanine is going to get hurt in the rain if you want to bring it, and just to bring it in any other kind of team is a little bit hard, I think. But can still work. So like, except for like Archeludon and Arcanine and even Keldeo, like those three are like the main sweepers, but I don't see you bringing all three of them or two of them either like into one match. If you
No,
understand what I mean.
no, of course.
Um,
But I
so
think the
that
team
is what really hurts the team, I think.
yeah, not good. Uh, I, I I just think I have a lot of options. Um,
Hmm. That's indeed a thing.
yeah, and the main thing, uh, the main reason I drafted Sinistee was because of its ability hospitality. Because Archelodon
Yeah.
has no such thing as recovery, and the same goes for Arcanine Hisui. Sinistcha comes in and heals quite a bit of damage, and Grimmsnarl
Hmm.
gives such great support with Light Screen and Reflect. So
Yeah.
it could be difficult to break Archelodon or Arcanine Hisui, uh, and even if it terrestrializes, which is Arcanine Hisui is
Yeah.
one of the best Terra Pokemon you can have. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah, indeed. I definitely can see that, like with Shinstar and Grimmsnarl in your team, like it will be really hard to break through this team. That's definitely true. That's literally the strong point of this team. Like you have a lot of bulk around you while also having good amount of offenses. Um, so yeah, I can really see like people are going to struggle to like one hit KO a Pokemon of your, unless it's like, yeah, Arcanine is like maybe an exception there for your fantasy sweepers, but like something like Archelodon or something can be really hard to break in one uh in one hit.
mm-hmm. True.
Especially if you're gonna with stamina boosted or not. That depends of course which team you're going to face. But yeah, still I think that indeed the bulk is really there, and the survivability is like your team is gonna survive a lot. But I'm just worried about the damage output of this team. I think it's a bit too passive, in my opinion.
Yeah, it could be.
But yeah, that's something we have to see, of course.
Yes.
If I want to rank it now, like first I wanted to say C because I didn't see the Pelipper, but now with your understanding that you didn't want to bring draft Pelipper, um, I can see it like in the mid B range. Like it's, or yeah, maybe like B or C. Like I can see it right there.
Yeah, I think B is correct. I think B is
Okay.
a yeah.
Yeah, I think like I think there are like things you can do. But yeah, I'm just worried about the offense that it brings. That's why I wanted to bring it in C because it lacks a bit of the offensive pressure, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but B is fine by me.
Yeah. Think so too. Alright, next team is Crobats Lair with Alola Ninetales and Andre0457 as coaches. They drafted Goldengo, Baxcalibur, Milotic, Kilowattrel, Sceptile, Stonjourner, Ninetales Alola, Crocodile, Porygon-Z, and Salazzle. What are the first thoughts?
Um, at first, I was like really surprised how they drafted. I think they drafted Goldengo. I
Very
think
late.
secondly, yeah, I think it was in the second round, if I am correct. Yeah, second round, because and then by that point, a lot of things have already gone by, and I was really surprised it went out that late. Because like, if the people who watch this video, we banned Fluttermane in this ranking because, of course, if you draft Fluttermane, it's like so offensive, and only one Pokemon having it, of one team having it, it's like really offensive. But still, I think Goldango is like easily the second best ghost type in this generation.
Very true.
It has great typing. It has a great ability. So yeah, I was really surprised it went out that late. And then you have like the team around Baxcalibur and Alola 90s. Like I know the people who are the coaches of there, and I know for one of the coaches, the Alola Ninetale is their favorite Pokemon. So I was already expecting that they wanted that in their team. But yeah, this is, in my opinion, like a really, really good team. I can easily see this. I can already say that I can easily see this an A tier team, even like low S. In my opinion, because it's like really, really good. You see, they have the Bullock in there with Milotic and Stonejourner, who can also power. I think it's power up. your own Pokemon, if I'm correct,
Power up.
with Power Spot. Yeah, they
Power spot.
Power Spot increases the power of the
Yeah,
moves
power
by
spot. Yeah,
1.3.
increase the special attack.
So you know, Ninetales Alolan can hit really hard. Goldango can hit really hard. Excalibur can hit really hard. So put that Stone Journal next to it, and it's gonna be like a lot of damage, especially from a Goldango that is going +2 or holds the Metal Coat. Um, they have Intimidate with Crocodile. They have Unburden with Saptile. They have like Stallmon with Milotic. Porygon Z is also like can also do a lot of damage if you really wanted to. I think the only Pokemon that I was like a bit iffy about is the Salazzle, but I get why they drafted so they could have the Fire Water Grass score. But yeah, Salazzle is the only one that I am a bit iffy about, but still, like it has 111 special attack and 170 speed. Like that's still like a glass cannon right there, and even with the poison type, fairies are going to be scared of it. So yeah, I think it's a really solid team.
Yeah, I think so too. I really like the Ninetales Alola because it can set up Auroraville, which supports their Pokemon for boosting their bulk even further. You have Stunjourner with things like White Guard and Rock Slide. You don't have to underestimate Stunjourner. I really like the Pokemon for
Yeah,
doubles.
it has 125 attack and
Yeah,
135 like defenses. Okay, on special side you can easily kill it, but still, like even it can stay for one turn for like a Goldango with Metal Coat on it to go for a Make It Rain, like that's still gonna hurt. There are not a lot of Pokemon who could easily want to take that, and still you need to pivot around that as well. So yeah,
yes. And also, one thing people overlook is that Sceptile gets a new move this generation, Shettel, which is
really.
very dangerous, like Pokemon like Goldengo or Milotic of Excalibur, who
Oh
are going
yeah.
to Restalize, so it's very scary.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that he got that move.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I also see as like quick guard as well. So if they really want to go there,
yeah.
so yeah, they have like a lot of options in my opinion.
Hmm.
Like you could say like, oh, it's just a snow team, with Ninetales and Baxcalibur, but it's like more than that. Like the only snow core that they really have is like Ninetales and Baxcalibur. That's also the advantage of snow that it is so flexible. But
True.
yeah, Baxcalibur, like even Baxcalibur, it's such a threat. Like recently there was the Utrecht special event, and Baxcalibur like did some work for a lot of teams. So
Hmm.
and even with the ability thermal exchange, which means you can't burn it, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
and
can't burn it.
even when it's hit by a fire type move, it gets +1 attack. So if you can switch into something like that, like and then a Storm Journer, like just with a Storm Journer, it's gonna mess up a lot of calculations, in my opinion. Um, and they have like really hard hitting mons like a Excalibur, like a Goldango, but even like Crocodile and Salazzle as lower tier picks and can still hit hard. And Kilowattrel is okay. They don't have like any priority Tailwind user, but Kilowattrel is so fast that it's still like for people who also don't have that option, like they can go that route as well to
Hmm.
because they know, and it has electric type, so that's always dangerous. It also has wind power, which increases the wind moves, if I am correct. It also has competitive, so if you want to, like, they have a lot of options in their team.
Yeah.
It seems like very simple what they want to do, but it really goes deep, in my opinion. Like, how much they can do, with
Yeah, I
this team.
think so too. Um,
I
I'm
think that this
just a
is
bit
probably.
curious how they will do into Trick Room, but I think they can handle it very well with these kind of Pokemon. Um,
I think they can handle it pretty well because Excalibur and Goldango are not that fast.
yeah,
And Trick Room always goes last up, so even if you bring an all Ninetales, they can still set up their Roller Veil pretty quickly. And
true.
yeah, Goldango, Excalibur, can easily handle the Trick Room. Even if you want like Crocodile, can still do that. And I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know if they have like a mon that can deny Trick Room. They have Taunt with Crocodile as well, so they can deny it that way. But it's not like at first glance they don't have like a Pokemon that can set up Trick Room for themselves and deny it that way. But that's not like the biggest problem. That's like already the nitpicking categories, in my opinion.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, in
if I
my
would,
opinion,
if I would tier it, I think an S or A. It's a very solid and strong team. Um,
I don't know if I really want to put it in S. But yeah, the thing is, like, we're getting other teams, and there have to be like one or two teams that can go in S, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't really like. I know, like, we see it further down the line, but I already have two teams in my mind that go into S.
okay.
But yeah, the Crobats Lair is like on the verge of that, but I won't be against it to put it into S as well. Like, if we have three teams that are going to be S ranked, I can say like the two that I have in my mind and the Crobats Lair as well.
No. Okay. So we put it in S.
We put it in S.
All right.
They deserve it.
All right.
Like, their team is like once again, there's nothing against the players that we are just judging the Pokemon by themselves. Like, it doesn't mean that they have like an S tier. If like they can still go 0-10, by the way. It all depends on the coaches at the end, but this is like a really solid team to have as a coach, in my opinion.
Yes. All right. On to the next team.
Hello, and now we have the other next team. It's a soul-stealing 7-star Squawk abilities with Mary Berry and Ivar, and they drafted Zamazenta, Salamence, Volcanion, Tinkaton, Gotorita, Pachirisu, King Gambit, Screamtail, Arboliva, and Miss Drevis. So what are your thoughts about this team?
Yeah, I think they have a very solid Dragon, Fairy, and Steel core. With Tinkaton, Salamence, Tinkaton is also fairy, but Screamtail is also fairy. Arboliva is Pokemon that can take advantage of the Trick Room. King Gambit also. Gotrita is a Pokemon that can set up Trick Room for them. Patricia can redirect. Miss Drivis is maybe an unevolved Pokemon, but still a very bulky Pokemon. Who can deny fake outs damage and such. Yeah, the main Pokemon that's gonna put the most damage are King Gambit, Volcanion, Salamence, and Zamazenta. Those Pokemon are insane, and Zamazenta also doesn't care about Intimidate because it has Body Press now. Can boost its defense and just Body Press things. Such an amazing Pokemon. Screamtail is also a Pokemon which is very bulky and can set up Trick Room for King Gambit.
They have like a lot of strong options. Like the Zamazenta is like the first one, of course, it's a legendary, but like the body press is there. It can set up. Salamence would intimidate, but even then, if you look like at first glance, if you show this team to any like someone who's not experienced into VGC, you would think like, why did they drafted a lot of like weak mons like a Gotorita or Pachirisu or something like that? But still, like Gotorita is like she gets shadow attack, so they really have like the elements to make a Parish Trap team, and those teams, if they are played like really, really well, they can like easily destroy your opponent. Like, they have everything needed to set it up, like with Screamtail, with Gotorita. It's like a common thing. You have redirection with Pachirisu, you have fake out with Tinkaton. Like I said, there have a lot of options in this team to put, like, especially like the Parish Trap element is something that I see like directly. but even then, they really don't. That's all already on the gimmicky side. But still, that even if you go besides that, you have the King Gambit, you have Salamence who can set up Tailwind, you have like Zamazenta is a real threat here. And even Volcanion, like fire water is like a really difficult type to handle, and it hits really really hard. They can even go for Trick Room if they want. Like they have also like a lot of options with a lot of threats, in my opinion.
Yeah, true.
The thing is, I would say this is like a plus version of the Gengars team. Like the Gengars team also had like a lot of options, like a lot of team options they could fall into, like play for Trick Room or go for Pala Balance. And this team is like the same way, but less obvious, in my opinion. Like with the Gengar team, still a really good team, but you could easily see, oh yeah, he has the Pala Balance team with Palafin, Arcanine, and Fungus. You have the Cresselia Ursaluna, which is easily Trick Room team. But this is something that you can't really see at first glance what they want, like especially for people who are like not really like that experienced in VGC stuff and so on. So yeah, I think this team can like be like really really explosive with going for like such out of the box picks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. Salamence is also a Pokemon that can either be physical or special. So yeah, Volcanion
Yeah.
even has 10 attack stat, which is also very great if you want that. But
Yeah, true. And it has a lot of bulk as well.
yeah, and you got Arboliva for Grassy
Which
Terrain.
gets recovery. Which gets recovery if it gets hit by a move. So yeah, I think that they really have like, you can't say it's gimmicky, and it kind of is. Like there are a lot of gimmicky mons in there, but I think they drafted.
They work together.
Yeah, well, yeah, they knew what they like, what they wanted. I think they said, I wouldn't be surprised if they said together, said, okay, we want a Paris Trap team, but we don't want to waste too many points on that. So they go like, okay, Gotorita is like the Shadow Tech mon to pick then, because Gotitel is probably too much points for them. And yeah, then Screamtail, we can just put it for that many points. So yeah, I really think this team can go like a lot of routes, in my opinion.
True.
And this is also if I want to place it in the tier ranking already, because I don't know what much else we can say about it. But yeah, this was like one of my first S rank teams in my head.
Yeah,
just because they have the threat of the Samazanta, they have a lot of great options. They have Parastrap, which is like, even for experienced players, like really hard to deal with. If you're not first against it that much. So yeah, I think this is going to be a really really challenging team to win against.
Yeah, true. I think S tier is a very solid tiering for this team. Yeah. All right. I don't know what to say next, but we're going to the next.
Then we go on to the next team, I think.
Yes. All right. The next team is Fletchinders with coach Yedemu. They drafted Ogerpon Wellspring, Gudra Hisui, Jolteon, Slowbro Galar, Flamigo, Eveluk, Landorus Tyrion, Chandelure, Alchemy, and Persian Alola. What are the first thoughts?
Well, the first thoughts are, at first, I didn't see like a really consistency in this team.
Yeah,
like
I had that too.
It was like a mixed bag of everything. Like, but it's not like a team put together. They have great options. I don't want to say that, but it's like, I don't feel like Okay, which mons are you gonna put together? I can see the alchemy. Like alchemy with decorate plus something is always annoying. Gudra, but it's more like how am I say individual mons that do like their thing really well, and I'm not sure how well that goes into one team. Like Augursprung Wellspring is like now at the moment the most dominant mon in the VGC, in the current format.
Hmm.
So, like I said, that's a mon that does it on its own. Gudra is an annoying Pokemon on its own. Landers it's like annoying on its own. Creamy is annoying with Decorate on its own. So I don't like, and they have a lot of things like that. Like Flamigo, um, it's interesting because it can copy the stat boost, but I'm thinking, okay, which boost are you going to pick? For I would say, okay, then you probably go for you want to steal the boost of Hisui and Gudra, or maybe something that you have decorated with Alcremie.
Hmm.
But yeah, for the rest, I don't see like like a team in the working at the moment. I
Yeah.
see a lot of good individual parts, but they're just like standing next to each other instead of like working together to make the machine working at the
Yeah.
moment.
True. I have the same thoughts. They started well with the Ogre and Wellspring, but if they drafted Gudra Hisui, so what are they planning to do with it?
Mhm.
Yeah, like you said, there are Pokemon that work on their own, but it's not a team with much synergy. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah,
Like I said, they have the things there. Like they have trick room options. Like with Slowbro Galar, Chandler who can set it up. And it's very hard. Um, if I am correct, I don't see like a Tailwind option. Unless Flamigo gets it, but
no, I don't
yeah,
think so.
that would be a waste of slot in my opinion. Um, like a lot of version like is a good fake outer. It was really good in the times of like Sun and Moon and stuff,
Yeah,
but
you
I
can
don't know
stay
how
quick.
well, yeah, how it holds up now. Like I said, there are a lot of good individual components there, but I don't see like a team working
Yeah.
right now. They could surprise us. Like either we can, I can definitely like put something off that will like put a win against one of the better teams. But at this moment, I'm not fully convinced.
True.
They still have traits, so that's still a thing. So if they can do like if they have like maybe something clearer in their mind, they can definitely go that route. But so far, a lot of great individual Pokemons, but not a team
Hmm.
in front of me. But
I
they have
guess.
options. Like I said, the Jolteon is like still, in my opinion, always a good draft mon. I just don't know how well it does in doubles. It's always good in singles, but I don't like I said, don't know how well it does in doubles. Syrian Gudra and Ogremon are already like good mons to have. Same with Landorus Tyrion. Chandler is also still like it hits hard. Solborg Galar is also a mon that can be really annoying. Um, Alcremie, the same thing. Like it's know all you have to know as a player if you're playing against this, like decorate on something is like really hard to deal with. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, just like I said, a lot of great things are there, but I don't see
Yeah. I
at
think
this moment.
I think
That's my
it's
biggest
just too
gripe.
hard to pull it off altogether. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think I feel it's like he drafted great Pokemons, but I don't think it was thought of. Okay, I have my Ogerpon Wellspring. How can I build off that Ogerpon Wellspring, or
Yeah.
how can I build off that Gudra? And it's just like individual mons there.
Hmm.
But like I said, I hope he really does well, and I hope he can surprise us. But at this point in time, before any of the matches were played, like I don't really see it.
No, me too. If I would
Uh,
rank it, I think I would rank it in the D tier.
yeah, I can see D.
Yeah.
I can definitely see it there. Like I said, it can still it's the one thing that I want how I see it is above why it's under indeed the Oricorios. The Oricorios have a strategy in mind and they have good mons, but this has good mons, but I don't see a strategy, and I think that is
Yes.
going to be really difficult if you don't have like a strategy in mind. How you're gonna pull it off with the draft league, which
Yeah.
has, like I said before, like a lot of strong competitors this season. So yeah, that's my doubt like about this.
Yeah. I think so too.
And we have to put it in D tier then. Sorry, Edemu, but nothing against you, buddy. But we have to. It's just our honest opinion about the team. So once again, don't take it personal.
All right. Next team.
So the next team are the Dutch Drilburs, but the coach is Fantastis and Jens 2365. They drafted Tornadus, Tinglu, Serena, Meowstick, Electrifier, Florgus, Gouging Fire, Gyarados, Golduck, and Clodsire. So what are your thoughts about this team?
Well, they drafted Tornadus, so they have a Rain Core with Golduck, uh, but also Gyarados, who can take advantage of the rain, and Electivire, who can take advantage of thunder that doesn't miss. You have Serena there to block priority with Queenly Majesty, if I'm correct. Tinglu, which is a very bulky Pokemon to get through. You have Meowstick for support. Meowstick can have things like Fake Out and Screens and Thunder Wave. Can be very annoying, and it's an underrated Pokemon, if I say so myself. And we have things like Gouging Fire, who can Dragon Dance and put a lot of work, and gets a new move like Burning Bulwark. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, Burning Bulwark. That can, it's a kind of protect that can burn opponents if they make contact, which is very good.
Yeah. When I was looking at the draft of this team, I thought like, oh my god, they are drafting like really good mons. And I think I would say around 5 when they after drafted their Serena, they went like they drafted like really odd mons, which I thought was weird at first in this team.
Yeah.
But yeah, indeed, with the rain, it makes a lot of sense that you have like an Electrifier on Golduck and stuff. The only thing that I'm currently worried about is like how their type coverage goes. Like they don't have like a lot of different types in their team. They are prone to get hit by like the same weaknesses. They can cover that with immunities, like with motor drive and stuff. For electric type especially, but still, it's like I'm not very confident. Like I thought with like Tornadus, Tinglu, Serena, Gouging Fire, like you had like a really solid team in the making. But because they are not like, how I must say, like offensive Pokemon. They are more like support options. They can still hit hit hard. They can do their thing, but mostly like with stat moves, not with like a lot of coverage moves do a lot of damage, and that's something that I'm missing right now. Like the really hard hitter, like Tornadus, like okay, it has Bleak Wind Storm or Hurricane, but still, it's not like the biggest hitter at the moment. Like, and it's also flying, which a lot of mons are neutral against or resisted by. Tinglu is like a really good Pokemon, but still, due to its ability, it's more supportive, and it doesn't hit that super hard as well. Guardian Fire, the sets that currently are in VGC are more supportive set, like with Breaking Swipe. Gyarados also a supportive mon into VGC normally. They can still do something else with those Pokemons because this is draft, of course. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. And maybe that's because my mind is stuck with like VGC and the regulations that are going on right now. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure about this team. Like even without like Serena, like ground moves are gonna hit really hard against those Pokemon. Fighting is gonna do a lot of neutral as well, again, except for the fairy and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, like, I want to believe in this team, but for some reason, like, I can't fully. Like, my gut says, like, yeah, there's something off about this. In my opinion, they also have like a lot of physical attackers. In my opinion, and yeah, if you just say like, "Oh, we build our team like fully defensive," yeah, you're kind of screwed in that point. Like, they don't have much of special options, and the ones they have, or like I said, not the heavy hitters that you expect to have in the team.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag, in my opinion. Like, it can do well. It has like a really good mons there. It has a strategy in mind. It has like good things that are working for it. But yeah, I don't see the damage there. I think the biggest struggle will be to put off that damage. But like I said, if they run like their mons differently than VGC, that could be the surprise needed to get an advantage. But even then, yeah, I don't see like the big heavy hitters there. Like, I still think how they first drafted, like before Serena was picked, and on Serena itself, I was thinking like this team is going to be like insane. Like with Tiglu, they had Tornadoes, Gouging Fire, Gyarados, Serena. I was like, yeah, they have like options left over, in my opinion. Yeah, and I feel like that's a bit wasted right now. But like I said, the coaches probably had a team or had a thing in mind, and I just don't see it. That could perfectly be the case here. But yeah, so far I'm not 100% convinced at this point.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think I have the same thoughts. Maybe that's the reason I didn't know what to say at first. I see some things working for them, but if you like you said before, it lacks power a bit, uh, especially on the special side. The Tornadoes is the only thing that really is going to hit hard on special attack with the Bleakwind
Yeah, but
Storm.
also only
But Tornadoes is more used as a support mon, and yeah.
And the same with Florges. Like, Florges can also hit hard on the special side, but even then, Florges is mostly known as a supportive Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
I think
yeah,
it's
that's why
difficult for them, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't know if you want to say anything else about the team. Like, I could see like they have options, like but I just don't see how the team is going to work well, in my opinion. So I put it in B rank because they have like really solid ones. They have a strategy in mind. They have the components there to make something really great, but I'm not quite sure how are they going to pull it off without just like I miss the damage. I really missed like the damage output in here.
Yeah.
Like, they can survive quite a lot with the Tinglu, and I think Florges has also put option to put out screens. Electivire gets follow me, so if they can play it in against like an electric move and they follow me on that turn and get the motor drive boost, like, I can see that all, but that's just like a lot of steps, you know? Like, oh, you need to make that that call to follow me on an electric move. So yeah, I'm not 100% convinced about the team. I still think it can do really well. But yeah, at this moment, I'm not 100% convinced. I think they have the good support Pokemon there. I just miss the damage once again.
Yes.
So that's why I want to put them in B.
Yeah. I think a high C, low B tier is correct tiering.
Yeah, I would say B. Say B.
Yeah, B is good for me.
Yeah.
All right, the Flanders Flygons with coaches Midori and Run-on Sting. They drafted Chi-Yu, Tornadus Tyrion, Hitmontop, Scizor, Clefable, Thwackey, Regieleki, Blastoise, Mismagius, and Flygon. Of course.
There,
What are the thoughts?
um, huh. Also, like a really difficult team to rate, in my opinion. Like I think they really made some interesting picks. Like the Thwackey is like, in my opinion, a really underrated pick to make in draft, because you still get the grassy terrain, and I think it also gets grassy glide, so you have a mini Rillaboom in there. So yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it lacks, of course, the power and the speed, etc. But still, like priority grassy glides can still do quite a lot. Also, the Scissor is like a personal favorite of mine, but still, I don't know how well it does currently in the current draft, because we've seen already a Sun team and strong Fire type picks already there. The Hitmontop as Intimidator, Tornadus Therian, yeah, basically like a more bulky version of Tornadus Incarnate that we just saw a minute ago. Shiyu is still like really, really strong here, so like it boosts the special attacks, and they have like a lot of special Pokemon to take advantage of that.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's like a solid team there, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's just I think this team, what I feel from this team, like I could be 100% off for this, but I feel like that they got sniped at a lot of points. That they had like a Pokemon in mind, and then the team before them like just drafted that mon, or like a couple of teams before then drafted the mon, and now they needed to find something real quick to make it work. That's how I feel about this team. Because I see the Clefable, which you rather have Clefairy, because Clefairy gets the Vanguard, while Clefable is just like it's just better against setup. The Hitmontop with Intimidate is still great, but like offensively it doesn't do much. You have like Fake Out there, but yeah, I think they have good Pokemons there, but I feel like they could have also picked better mons from the tier from the mons that are still open in those tiers.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Chi-Yu is a very great Pokemon, but you have Tornadus Tyrion there, and Clefable, which are weaker than their other forms. Same goes for Thwackey. They have support, and they have things that can make this team work. But I think they have a difficult time with it to make it work.
Yeah. But yeah, for example, like they picked the Tornadus Steep probably for like Tailwind option.
Yeah.
But maybe like at that point, because we already talked about the Crobats Lair, that they had Goldango, but that was after them in round 2. So I think instead of picking a Tailwind setter here, I would have gone for Goldango right here. Because you have the Chi-Yu, and Chi-Yu Goldango is dangerous. Because Goldango already hits pretty hard, Chi-Yu hits pretty hard, and yeah, Chi-Yu boosts that with lowering the special defense. So yeah, I think.
True.
Yeah, that's how I feel currently about this. Like they were maybe a bit too hardly focused. Oh yeah, now we want to draft this round. We want to draft a Tailwinder, and we pick this, and maybe not feel how the draft was going, like seeing opportunities there, or like I said, they got snipes at certain points. Like I don't want to say because it feels like I'm talking really negative about this team, but I feel like there are still good Pokemons there, but I just feel like there are better options.
True.
Were open at the points that they drafted. in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like the Shiyu as a first pick is like really amazing. I just don't think like Tornadus D at the second pick was maybe worth it. Like Regieleki, also a good pick, but Regieleki is currently not like the best Pokemon in VGC. But yeah, that's also a whole different format. This is like more closed, and Regieleki can still be a threat. Yeah, then yeah, like Blastoise. So okay, Blastoise is not bad, but I think there are better options.
I think
Same, like even though I love Scissor, like Scissor is great, but how great is it if a lot of people are going to draft a Firemon and probably have an Intimidate Mon? So
true.
even combined, if like the two Arcanines are in this draft, like the Suian and the normal one. So yeah, I just think there were that they could have picked better options. That doesn't mean that these ones are like bad or like horrendous or anything. I think they're still solid, but I just feel like a lot of Pokemon could have been interchanged for other options. But overall, I still think they have pieces there and a strategy there to make this team work.
Yeah, with a few changes, it could be a much better team.
Yeah.
It's solid, but yeah, it misses that spark or something.
Yeah, it's not really. I also can't really put my finger onto it, like because if you look at it on paper, they have like all everything that you want. Like they have a fire. They have a fire, water, grass core. Which is also not a bad like, but even then, like they have that core, but it's not like that. The core works super well together. Like you have Shiyu, Twacky, and Blastoise, and Shiyu, Blastoise work together, and Twacky as well. Twacky, like, oh yeah, I think that core works, but then you have like something like the Flygon, Clefable, Scissor, and it's like, okay, but what do you want? Okay, you have that core, but it's not that's like that they like enhance each other or like help each other out. While with the fire, water, grass core, I can see that more with Chiyu and Blastoise together on the field. Like Chiyu boosts the special attack of Blastoise, and Twacky can provide a support option with the healing of grassy terrain. And even priority if needed. Like so I can see that. But yeah, it's like I also miss that spark that you're saying. But yeah, that's something so subjectively, in my opinion. Like I want to really preface this that yeah, it's a good it's a solid team. Like it works. Like you have the tailwind option, you have a trick room option if I recall with I think Mismagius. You have also the Pokemons that can use that trick room very well. You have priority there, and you have hard hitting mons. But yeah, I think right now with the DLCs coming out, I think just that their power, like a lot of Pokemon got outclassed or got like walled a lot, and I think that is going to play them parts. That a lot of the newer mons are going to make it harder for them.
True.
So to speak. But like I said, they could easily surprise me. They are the coaches; they know what they're doing. But yeah, I feel like that they got like hindered during the draft for some reason. That they are or were like hard focused. Oh, we should pick this right now. Why other options were open, or they got sniped at some point. That's how I feel about this draft.
Yeah. True.
And they made the best situation with those circumstances. So yeah, where do you put them in our tier list?
I think I would put them into C.
Yeah, I could easily see C.
Yeah.
As well. They have like the good months in there. They have the strategies, but yeah, it's not like they have like better months like the Drilburs. The Drilburs, like they had like a lot of good components as well, and even though I said like they their second half of the draft was a bit weird. Still, the component that they had were like really, really strong. While here, I don't really can say with full confidence that they have like the first half or like really solid components. Like they have maybe like three or like can really say okay, these are like solid picks, like the Twacky, the Shiyu, Tornadus, and Scissor, and that's like, and even then I'm already like grasping for something like the Fable's nothing to sneeze at, of course. But yeah, it's more like a bulky mon, and you really want to have that Clefairy is like the better option there, because it provides that friend guard. So yeah, I think they just that they could have drafted other options that could have fitted more within maybe like a Shiyu type composition.
Yes. All right, we're going to the next team.
Okay, now the second to last team, we have the Llanfair Gogoats with Inuller and Murph. They drafted Raging Bolt, Metagross, Drifblim, Espatra, Magmar, Rabombi, Rillaboom, Primarina, Hitmonlee, and Quillfish Hisui. So what are your thoughts about this team?
My first thoughts was I really like this team. It works very well together. You have Raging Bolt and Rillaboom. Rillaboom has the grassy terrain, which makes Earthquake do less damage to Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt can also deal with water types very well. Rillaboom also. Magmar protects Raging Bolt from Fairy Pokemon, Fairy Moose, and also protects Rillaboom. We have Drifblim to make advantage. Drifblim and Hitmonlee has a burden with the grassy terrain. Primarina is a very bulky water type, who is also protected by Rillaboom of Raging Bolt. And you got Metagross there that can't be intimidated with Clear Body and is also reduced damage with the grassy terrain. The team in general works very well together. I really like it. What are
Yeah, I had the same thing going on. The Raging Bolt is like a really good pick, of course. But even then, if you go further than that, like Rillaboom, indeed, I think there was a second pick. Like that fits really well with Raging Bolt. Like you said, like you reduces the Earthquake damage. Also for your Quillfish Hisui, which has Intimidate, like can be really hard to deal with. Rabombi if gets Pollen Puff, so that means that you have recovery on that front. Magmar has proven itself in like early tournaments and even later on that it's still a good solid follow me user, and it has Flame Body. So if you get that burn, like that gonna hinder you a lot. If you look at other Pokemon, like Espatra, like it has speed boost, like that's always something that you need to be careful of.
Calm Mind and Stored Power.
Yeah, Calm Mind and Store Power as well. Like even Rabombi can provide Tailwind support if you really wanted to. It has like Reflect. It can Quiver Dance. Like it's not like the best in those things, but yeah, it can still. It's 124 speed, so that's still quite a lot. Primarina, like you said, like a really good hard hitting mon. Also with the ability to turn normal moves into water moves. The sound based moves like a hyper voice that turns into stab. Yeah, that's like that hits really hard. Especially with like 126 like special attack. Like I said, Metagross, also an underrated pick in my opinion. It has priority with Bullet Punch. It has Clear Body. It works well in Trick Room. It can work well into Tailwind as well. I think that's the only really thing that I see about this team, that they don't really have those setters there. You can say, okay, Rabombi can go for Tailwind, but it's not like the best Tailwind setter. I'm not 100% sure if Drifblim. Okay, it gets Trick Room. So you can go for Trick Room mode, but even then, it's not the best Trick Room setter. But it can do it can do a job there.
I don't think.
Yeah, I see a lot of good Pokemons in there.
Yeah, I don't think they really need Trick Room or anything. The team works very well together.
Yeah,
It
they have a lot
has
of priority.
a lot of priority for the Trick Room. And Metagross itself gets many new tools this generation, like Psychic
Hmm.
Fangs and Hard Press. It's
Yeah.
very bulky, so you can make it a weakness policy, agility set, or something like that. Uh,
Hmm.
Tailwind, Drifloon is also a Pokemon that gets Tailwind.
Oh yeah, true.
Um, yeah, you have Fake Out with
That's
Hitmonlee and Rillaboom. It's yeah, you have very many options.
yeah, but the only one, the only thing that I'm really doubtful of is the Espatra, but I can still see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like I said, it gets speed boost, but even with Opportunist, where it gets a stat boost if your opponent's Pokemon got a stat boost, like for example, team that we saw before with the Fletchinders, if like Flamigo comes in and wants to copy a stat boost, like yeah, Espatra also gets that stat boost.
Sure.
So that's like mind game that you can go for there. Like the stored power set for Espatra is still like very very good. Illumina Crash. Um, it's like a move that lowers your special defense by -2, and if you then get a thunderclap from Raging Bolt onto you, yeah, that's going to hurt if you're not resisted.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they have like a lot of good mons
Yeah.
in their team. Like they're not like the most conventional picks, I would say that. Like that you would say like, oh yeah, those are the ones that really work together. But even then, like their team is like really really solid. Like I said before, like they have a firewater grass core that really really works well. Like you have a follow me user that helps. Like they all help the Primarina do its job for doing the most damage, but even Rillaboom can do that. Their Dragon Steel Fairy Core is also really impressive because Ribombee can heal the Metagross, can heal the Raging Ball, but can also provide other support with Tailwind or anything like that. So yeah, they have like really good mons in their team right now. So I don't say like it would be like a super threat of a team, but yeah, I still think this team does really is going to do really really well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I have to, if I have to put it into a tier list, I think I would say mm, a high A, low S, maybe S.
I wouldn't put it in S because it has like because it doesn't have like the like really really strong Pokemons there.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like in Hitmonlee, it's like maybe can something be like is a weak point, as the weak point there, quote unquote. Um, the Ribombee is even like I said, not the best pick. So I wouldn't put it in S. I was more thinking at like upper B, lower A.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. I think we can put it in A then.
Yeah, seems fair.
All right. Last team, the Mesagoza Meowscaradas, coached by Arceus Rules and Ak, aka Akram. They drafted Ursaluna Bloodmoon, Farigiraf, Araquanid Superior, Comfey, Torracat, Electabuzz, Ironhands, Zapdos Galar, and Lycanroc Midnight. Very interesting. Alright, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm. This may be like be a controversial take, early, but I don't think that really is. But I see that this is the best team currently in the league. Um, they have drafted like really like amazing team, like an amazing team together with a lot of different options. Like they got for Rigarev, they were the wheel pick, so that means for the that they get like the last pick of round one and the first pick of the second round, and they got for Rigarev Blood Moon Ursaluna, which is like till at this point one of the like a really good solid core in the VGC meta game, and in my opinion, it's like really like I thought it was really weird that Farigiraf wasn't picked beforehand. It's not like a pick that maybe you want to go for like at first, because it's like it is not like the most offensive mon or anything, but it's like the best priority blocker in the game, and you just don't want to get like, in my opinion, to have a wheel pick have an option to draft Ursaluna, Blood Moon, and Farigiraf. Now this team has, so that's already like a solid core there. They have a lot of Pokemon that get like use that trick room as well, like the Iron Hands is right there. But even like a Raconet really loves that, and Torracat is also still a solid option. The Pokemon that they have, their fire, water, grass core is not something that supports each other directly, but there are three like offensive Pokemon there. Okay, Torracat not as much, but still it has Intimidate. It's like a small Incineroar right there, right at you. Electabuzz also has Follow Me, which is like really, really good to have right there. Superior with Contrary can hit really, really hard. A Rockrunet with Mystic Water, Terra Water. It's like hits really, really hard even without terrain. Zapdos Galar has Defiance, and it can like outspeed a lot of Pokemon with Choice Scarf, so that's also really dangerous. Iron Hands, even in the current format, it's not like the most used mod as it was before, but even now it's still a really, really good Pokemon to have. I have a lot of confidence in this team. And like I said before, like I think it's currently the best team in the league because it has like on each spot such good Pokemons. They have, even like the lower tier one. Like the only Pokemon that I'm not convinced by is a Lycanroc Midnight. That's like literally the only one, but I can see it because you have no guard Stone Edges that can just hit, and that is just like an insane amount of damage with 150 attack, even against neutral targets. But yeah, you have Comfy that can heal you. Yeah, they have a lot. Like I said before, that there are teams that don't have the offensive pressure, but this team, it has that.
True. And Raquanet also gets things like White Guard, so you can protect your Pokemon from earthquakes if you want to. Have Fake Outs on Iron Hands and Torracats to help out your teammates. Comfy can set Trick Room. Farigiraf can set Trick Room. You have even trouble putting Intimidate going for Intimidate because Zapdos has Defiant and Superior also has Contrary.
Yeah.
The first thing they did in the draft is drafted very many support Pokemon and built around those Pokemon, which was very clever, I think.
I'm gonna look. It's like the more offensive picks indeed came after they picked a lot of support Pokemon. They had to Blood Moon, Ursaluna, Farigiraf, and they went directly after the third round. They went for like Comfy. Like you don't say like, oh, Comfy is a good mon, but it gets Triage, which gets +3 priority on healing moves, which means that the Pollen Puff can like I think it's affected by it. I'm not quite sure. But still, then if that's not the case, you have like priority draining gifts that can like annoy you. It has floral healing, so it can use that to heal your Pokemon, and that is priority. So that means if your Ursaluna is getting low, you put 100% sure that your Comfy can always heal it. Even like for an Iron Hands, a mon that is really difficult to remove from the field, is the same thing. If that gets healed with a lot of healing, this is going to be a really difficult team to handle, in my opinion. And Florges, Florges Comfy also gets like the screens as well, so they have that option. I really think this is like a really, really strong team and something to be scary about because they have the options to really deal the damage needed, and also have the right support around it to help that offensive prowess like go for it. I think
And even
these coaches really knew why they wanted to draft these Pokemon specifically and what they wanted to do with those specific Pokemon.
yeah, and even if you want to uh, pick a ghost type against them, it doesn't work because Ursaluna just goes through ghost types with Blood Moon.
Yeah.
Its ability. It's a very
Indeed.
strong Pokemon, and you can't. Yeah.
It's a really strong Pokemon.
With the regular Ursaluna, it's more of a special attacker, which makes it intimidates. It's not that's
not big of a problem.
Not big of a problem, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, even then, like it still hits hard. I think the only thing that I can see as a hindrance of this team is if they want to bring the Ursaluna, and they don't get up a Trick Room, that's gonna be like really like hard for them.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's like the only thing because they have like a really heavy Trick Room leaning team, in my opinion, because the support options are fast and the really offensive Pokemon that are fast are the Zapdos Galar and the Superior.
Yeah.
I think those are like the two those are the two fastest mons.
I think even though they are really Trick Room focused, they are very confident, and it's very easy for them to put Trick Room on the field.
Yeah, they have that option, but I even think that they, even if they don't want to play Trick Room, they have that option as well. I don't think I have to look if it gets like Comfy gets Tailwind, so Comfy can do like a lot of things for this team. Yeah. And that's 100 speed, which isn't that fast, but still like it can do. It has the option. For that, and even like I said, or like you said, like it is indeed like a heavy Trick Room reliant team. They still have like pawns to pull off a non-Trick Room strategy for it. So yeah, and even those Pokemon are hard to remove, in my opinion. So yeah, I think maybe like the only thing is like they have like a bit of a ground weakness, if I see it, because they have Torracat, Electabuzz, Lycanroc, Iron Hands. So that's maybe something that they have to be careful about, that people bring that. But yeah, once again, they have the Pokemon to help out with that weakness, in my opinion.
Yes.
Or to cover for that. Like it's not that someone is going to make like a team with like with every ground move or something. Like there are Pokemon that can handle the Pokemon that are not weak against ground can handle that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I think that like I said, this is my third S team that I had in my mind.
Yeah, I think S tier is a correct tier for this team. Yeah, in comparison with all the other teams, this team has is one of the strongest Trick Room setters out there, and can take advantage of it and put a lot of work against their opponents.
Yeah, it's, to be honest, if you look at the draft, it's a bit funny to see that the Gengars and the Meowscaradas, the first one to pick and the last one to pick, are the both who have like the best Trick Room setters and abusers of it. The one on the other hand, you have the Gengars with Cresselia and Ursaluna, and on the other end, we have Farigiraf, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, right there. So yeah, I think this team is like as like good peons, like to really hit home. While other teams maybe like can get an edge on them by using like really gimmicky stuff or something. But yeah, this because they have such a solid base that they like built off of on. Yeah, it's gonna be like fantastic for them.
Yes. All right.
So yeah, that was yeah, this was our last team, so it's time to round out the video, I guess.
I think so too. This is the tier list, the final tier list we made.
Yeah.
I think we're quite happy about this.
Yeah, like once again, it's nothing against the coaches or anything. I think I said that multiple times throughout the video, but this is like how I see how strong the teams are. It doesn't mean that if you're a D team that you're gonna go 0-10. It could easily be that people from S or A can go 0-10 depending on how they're feeling for those weeks for the whole tournament. So yeah, I think this is indeed like a fair drafting.
Yeah, I think so
If I
too.
look upon it.
I always say if you made a good draft, you're halfway there. It's just how you play
Yeah,
the team.
indeed, and still changes can also be made with trades or changing or drafting something else from the tier list, because there's still a lot of Pokemon open right now, and drafting is indeed hard to decide right on the minute, like what you want to have, especially under a time limit. So just look at your team, see if you want to change anything. If so, see at what option that you have, and maybe you can still win the whole tournament. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. I think that concludes the video. We will
Yeah,
see you guys the next time, and we are curious what your thoughts are about the teams themselves.
yeah. Let us know, and good luck in the PPL season 4.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.